はい、大変お待たせしております。ご来場の皆様、そして池部 YouTube チャンネルを、ご覧の皆様、お待たせしております。本日はですね、ステフェン・クメラーさんをお呼びしまして、オブスキュラの、ね、ギタリストでございます、ギタークリニック2026ということですね、こちら、イケシブの1階の方で、開催をしております。で、こちら今、ステージの方に並んでおりますエングルのギターアンプですね、こちらの、サベージ120の、ステファンシグネイチャーモデルのですね、発売を、記念しまして特別に、ギタークリニックを開催ということでございます。で、この後ですね、もう存分に、サウンドの方をですね浴びていただきまして、アンプのですね、機能とそして、奏法であったりとかこのオブスキュラの、等々についていろいろと質問等を投げていただければと思います。で、今日ご覧になっていただいている皆様から、質問をですねどんどんいただいてですねそれに答えていくという感じで流れで、進めていきたいと思いますのでぜひよろしくお願いいたします。はい、ではですね、早速、ステファンさんお呼びしたいと思いますので大きな歓声と大きな拍手でお迎えください。はい、ではステファンさんお願いいたします。
Hello, konnichiwa. Welcome to Ikebe Shibuya. It's a pleasure showing you a couple of ideas and things of the music I'm writing since 25 years. I see a couple of fans with Tulkandra and Obscura t-shirts. Welcome, I hope you saw the band before. We're here in Japan playing our 5th tour, and we have been here many years. And today is the very first time I give a clinic, so if you have questions for equipment, the bands, anything of writing, gear, live productions, just ask at any time. I will play 2 songs for you of our new album, A Sonication, and I will give you some insights about my guitars, the amps, the wonderful equipment you see here, and everything beyond. So we have 1 hour, and I'm very pleased to be here talking to you. If you have questions, don't hesitate, always just reach out. We have a translator in case you're not confident with English. I'm German, my English is limited, so we will somehow fix it, okay? Thank you very much being here.
はい、じゃあここからどうしましょう。進めていきましょうか。Ready?
I'm ready. I'm born ready. Are you ready?
はい、質問があればどうぞお気軽にお答えくださいというふうにステファンさんがおっしゃっています。
So please welcome my friend Ben. He is helping us with translating.
はい、皆さんこんにちは。すみません。もう私の日本語ちょっと少しだけですけど、本当に通訳する頑張ります。はい。質問ありますか今。もう大丈夫ですか。はい。
Okay. I would like to start introducing to you something I got just yesterday. Yesterday I visited my friends at ESP Guitars, a little bit north, an hour north of Tokyo, and I just got a brand new guitar. It's brand new. I played half an hour to it, so we can see how it sounds. Okay?
昨日もらったのギター。したらまだ30分ぐらい行けました。
So this is the brand new model of we call it the Obscura guitar, and it's fresh, it's built, and it got just finished yesterday. So this is a world premiere just for you, all of you who made it over here to Ikebe, and I think it's the worthly outline for today. I'm playing this guitar, this shape, since more than 20 years. But I'm working with ESP since, I think, 7 or 8 years at this point. And this is the second out of 2 guitars. And there were some pictures. I think you saw the flyers with the red guitar. The specs are the same. But this here is, first of all, it's new and it's granite sparkle. And it's made for the new album, A Sonication. So I will show you how it sounds. If you have any questions, do you play guitar? Anyone? A few of you? 1, 2? Any guitarists? Bass is also okay? A few? Okay. Do you want to try it? If you don't crush it? Yes. It's an extremely long guitar. You also need a custom guitar case for it. But the special thing about this guitar compared to many other extreme looking guitars is it's balanced. You know, it's not dip diving. When I was a kid and I started playing extreme shapes, I always had the problem I get cramps on the hand, because when you're on stage, you want to have an instrument that is playing with you, not against you. Thank you, not destroying it. My pleasure. So, talking about ergonomics, it is a very, very balanced out instrument if you just have it on your strap, but also when you're sitting, it plays like any other Fender. The only problem is, if you have a small room, this is a problem. But aside that, talking about ergonomics, when I was talking with ESP guitars, we made a lot of small adjustments. While the shape is the same, the devil is in the detail. So what we did, is working on the back. The old guitars I had, they had one big brick. So in the front, it was very hard to play the upper range of the guitar. So this is basically a cutout, handmade, and it was taken by a bass guitar. And that was an idea by ESP, and I'm very glad that they did it. The second is this cutaway. So the guitar is not diving like this, you know, diving like this when you're playing live. It's all about ergonomics and details. The same is the laid-in guitar jack. It's very ergonomic, not only on stage but also off stage. As you play like this, there's the cable in it. It's very you don't even recognize it. It's just a very cool instrument to play. You want to add something? No.
ベンさんここまでで簡単に訳してもらっていいですか？
難しい。本当、新しいの、オブスクラモデルね。別の、前のモデルは、後ろの、カットアウト。Can you show the back again?こっちは、もっと、簡単がいけるのこと。これも、これは、キャットアウェイの、新しい、こっちのモデルは、新しいの方。全部は、本当に、いいギター。
One thing you maybe see in the very close-up camera angles is the scalloped frets. You all know what scalloped frets are? I learned it with Yngwie Malmsteen back in the days, because when I was a kid I just wanted it because it's cool, but it has a certain reason. The scalloped frets are basically sanded out parts of the fretboard, and the reason is quite simple. If you play, especially legato runs, the tone comes quite through way earlier because you have that more range to it. With Obscura, some know the band of you, it's very fast playing, and if we play more of the lead lines, it's very hard, especially in a live session, that all the notes come through. So in studios, back in the days, I recorded with 2 different string gauges. For the leads, I had my old guitar stringed up with 10 to 46 strings. It's a little bit thinner because it felt better and the tones came through better and easier. But for rhythm guitars, I wanted to have it accurate, efficient, and very, very, very just on point. So I used a little bit thicker strings, 11 to 56. Now, with the scalloped frets, I don't have to change strings anymore because I'm using the thick string gauge for actually rhythm guitars, but with this, I call it trick, or with this enhancement of the scalloped frets, of this cutaway, I can play also the leads quite flawless. And this is This is a big enhancement. And my idea, talking about guitars, equipment, is making things easier. It's all about getting small ideas, adding to an existing instrument and making it better, easier, or at least adapt for my playing.
このギターは、このフレットは、what do you call it?
Scalloped frets?
Scalloped fret は、前のギターいつも、スタジオで、リズムとリードは、別のギターが使う、この、スカロップフレットが使ったら、リズムとリードは、同じギターが使う。いつも、新しいのギアのリサーチは、のためは、もっと簡単になるのためにいつも、ギターとか、アンプとか、PC の方も、何が、簡単、もっと簡単ができる。はい。
Bravo. Arigato. What I want to say is this guitar is adapted and optimized for my personal playing. But every guitarist, every musician is different. Not only from the taste, I like technical death metal, other people like jazz or bossa nova or anything else. And aside from the taste, it's also the physics. With Obscura, we have a lot of like stretched parties. And years ago, I tried a baritone guitar. Beautiful instrument, sounded excellent, but I could not play on it because the scales were too long. So this is for what I do. It doesn't mean it works for everything else. Speaking about the guitar, yesterday I visited the ESP custom shop and I got the entire factory tour. Have you ever seen a factory of a pedal company or maybe a report about a factory that builds guitars or basses? Anyone? You saw something? No? If you see the guitars or any instrument in a shop like here, you just see the final product. But believe me, there's so much work in every single product. It's just the part that is handmade, like all the sanding, all the cutting out, this is all made by hands. And to me personally, you need a certain respect towards your instrument. And I do not have many instruments, but I take care of them. I maintain them, I clean them, I change the strings, I take care of the fretboard, and just make sure they last as long as possible. And I think if you treat your instrument well, like your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you last it long, you know.
ちょっと難しい。ちょっと鳩野さん、手伝ってください。
どうしましょう。後半だけでも大丈夫ですよ。後の後ろの方だけでも。
はい、
大体は皆さん伝わってるかと思うんですけれども。
ギター、いつも、機材が、リスペクトが必要。昨日は、ギター、ESP のファクトリー、見に行った、本当に、いっぱい、糸が、いろいろなものが作る。そしたら、本当に、リスペクトが、必要。本当に、このギターは、キーだけじゃない。でも、このギターは、本当に、ステフェンさんの、生き方のためにが作った。はい。
はい。We've been talking a lot of guitars. Do you have any questions for the guitar?
Is this the stainless fret?
Stainless fret? Yes. It's actually the specs are the standard spec from ESP. And years ago I bought, actually I got a ESP E2 Arrow. You know the asymmetric V? beautiful instrument, and this is my backup guitar until today. And I love that instrument so much that the idea was to build this guitar, but also the previous, to combine everything ESP has done with this shape and my abilities. So it's basically the best out of both worlds. And the same is with this guitar, with this shape, with this finish, this granite sparkle. I saw Eclipse form. It's more like a classic rock or metal guitar, and I saw this in exactly this finish, and I loved it, and that's the reason why we somehow combined it. So in the end, it's always a combination of a partnership. And with ESP, I work since many years, and the same with ENGL. But with ENGL, I talk about it a little bit later. Any other questions for this beautiful instrument? Mm-hmm. Yes. It's a Gotho locking tuners, and it's original Floyd Rose 7-string. I'm using EMG pickups since I got my second guitar. The only thing I changed over the year is the selection of the EMGs. When I started playing guitar, that's a nice anecdote. When I started playing guitar as a kid, we wanted to be the loudest, the fastest, and the most brutal band. So everything was in 11. EQ, 11. Mids, 11. Loudness, 11. Gain, 11. That was cool, but once we started learning to play guitar or our instrument, we changed the attitude a little bit. And with the EMGs I used back in the days, 85 and 81, it's basically a square signal that comes out as an extra output of, I think, 7 dB, which means it's highly distorted. If you want to sound like Slayer, perfect. Metallica, excellent. When we started to play with clean guitars, it sounded already distorted. So I changed to 66, 7 and 57, 7. So it's basically a 66 and a 57, which leaves a little bit more headroom. And to me, it's a cool compromise. If you only know the 85 and 81 classic combination, I would heavily recommend just to try them out. Even if you just pick up a guitar in the store, check it, make an A/B test. It's really a big difference. My pleasure. We talked a lot about guitars and ESP. If you don't mind, I would play a song for you. Would you mind? One song? Okay. Do you have earplugs?
早速弾いていただいた方がよろしいかなと思います。
Okay.
もうプレイはまだしないですね。
ちょっと
皆さん演奏を聞きたいかなと思うんですけども。
ちょっと難しい。別の多分子供の時ギターいける始めました時いつもEMG の85と8185と81使ったんですけど、今は元クリーンがギターがいけるだからWhat's the
new one? 66 and 57.
今は66と57が使う。はい。
ピックアップの名前ですよね。
はい。ピックアップの名前です。
EOG のピックアップの名前ですよね。はい。モデル名ですね。
So it's not ideal for jazz, but for metal it's really cool. I will play you one song from our new album. This is, I would say, one of the most complete compositions we came up so far. It's the opening track and it's called Silver Linings. Are you ready? Okay. That's a good idea. Okay. So, earplugs. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。
This song is, as I mentioned, to me, one of the most complete songs of the band because it's not a solo album song or something like that. When I'm writing songs, I have the idea to highlight every member in the band. And this is not a solo from front to end, it's not a bass solo from front to end, and it's not a drum solo. And over the years, I simply learned a little bit better to arrange songs and to combine the technical ability you need to play this kind of music with memorable songwriting. And when I started as a kid, the biggest inspiration was Chuck Schuldiner and Death, and I think you still hear it. I don't neglect where I come from. These are my roots, and I'm very happy that some people can point out where it comes from. So, talking about Chuck Schuldiner, he always somehow achieved it over the years to combine progressive ideas with very clear arrangements, and this is something that interests me. So even if you don't play guitar, you like the song. If you play guitar, you still see a lot of things that are really interesting or avant-garde or even progressive in some points, and I love to combine, you know, the cool things of both worlds. Speaking of this song, Silver Linings, I think it showcases basically storytelling. I would say a lot of people out there are very good at storytelling. They only need a couple of words to tell you a wonderful story. Sometimes you can laugh about it or it's a drama, but sometimes there are people out there who speak for half an hour and they don't say anything. And this is how I see a lot of those shred solo albums sometimes. Some are really good, but to me it's more important to balance out songwriting. If I have a fantastic drummer who can play versatile music and being very progressive and has the ability to play polyrhythms, of course I want to showcase this. Then I don't need to write songs that are 260 BPM fast. If I have a wonderful bassist who has, I don't know, finds the right tones to add something to an existing arrangement and highlights that, of course I would like to feature them. Just a few of the examples. And here, this entire idea with the song Silver Linings works absolutely fantastic in a live setting. And up to this date, since we tour for this album, this is my most favorite song of the entire set. Because even if you would turn down the music and you see just the band playing, you see that how the band moves. Sometimes the drums are in focus, sometimes the bass, sometimes there are two guitars playing a solo lead section to each other. And I think this is much more worth than showing off. But that's my personal opinion. For you.
Thank you.
長い。
前の曲は、ソロのための曲ではない。どんどん、ミュージック始めた時から、いろいろなものが、勉強した。多分、みんなの、ギターとか、ドラムとか、場所があります。ギターソロのためではない。ステファンさんは、この、前の曲、シルバーライニングは、ラストアルバムの、ライブで一番好きな曲。この曲は、ストーリーテリング、みんなストーリーテリングわかりますか？ OK。ストーリーテリングが、強い。さあ、プログレッシブの方があります。多分みんなが、知ってますか？知ってましたですけど、一番、インスピレーションは、デスの、ギターの糸。そう、さあ、本当にちゃんと切って、デスのサウンドが、あります。はい。
What I mentioned earlier, when we started playing music, of course we've been beginners. Everybody starts somewhere. All the settings of the amps were on 11, so loud, fast, everything. But over the years we learned to get the tonal information the way that we reduce something. So I think the EQ is a fantastic invention to work on arrangements and also to produce music. Similar is the arranging of songs. Sometimes if there is a very busy bass line, you have to reduce all the other instruments. If the vocals are in focus, for example at the chorus, reduce the guitars. And I'm a guitarist, I don't like to be reduced at all. But it's really like that. Sometimes you just have to balance out not only the tone, not only the production, but also the songwriting. And this is very, very important in my opinion, and this is a little bit overseen many times. So a lot of people, when I play in bands, want to be in the foreground, but to make an album timeless and special, you have to leave the room also for all the others. And this is a lesson I learned over the last 25 years. Just try to balance out the sound, arrangement, production, and everything is combined. This is very important to understand.
ちょっと、前の会話の同じ、一番大事は、みんなが、場所があります。ドラムとか、ギターとか。いつも、多分、みんなは、私は、みんなの前にが、いたい。ギター、ドラムですけど、一番、大事なことは、バランスを見つける。した、その会話です。
はい。Good. We talked about songwriting and gain settings and the guitar. So I would like to introduce you to this wonderful ENGL amp. ENGL is a company from Germany. They live. The factory is based not far from where I live, and they have been established there since the 80s, the early 90s. They invented a lot of very cool ideas. I think they brought out the first digital amp many years ago, but their main focus always has been tube amplifiers, and their sound is very specific. I came across more like I wouldn't call it an accident, but if you live in the area where people produce such products, of course you come across this. And I have one tiny little combo amp I bought as a beginner. And this, I think, with all the productions, everything we do since the last 2 decades, this is the amp I play the most. And this is absolutely timeless. It's a reliable amp. It was not even expensive. It's just a tiny little amp. But every time I see it, every day when I practice guitar, I think about how reliable it is. And the same happened years later when I bought our first backline. When we started touring in Europe, we got our first 4x12 guitar cabinets and the first amps. Later all the racks. And during all those tours, none of those amps broke down. And if you're on stage, if you're traveling the world, you need gear that is reliable. That's also the reason why I play only one guitar that is made for me and my needs. I don't need 20 guitars on tour. I don't need 3 guitars. 1 plus a backup is enough. And the same goes for the amps. If you have one of those amps at home, you will have it for the next 30 years. You can give it to your kids. And I'm very sure it will overlive all of us in the end. Long story short, I really like the sound of the ENGLs, and it gives a different type of gain setting somehow. To me, it sounds completely different than, let's say, a Marshall amp or a Lenny amp or any of the other amps. There are many great manufacturers out there, and every player, again, is completely different and likes something else. For me, and this kind of music we play with the very fast 16th or 8th note songs, especially within the rhythm guitars, you need that balance again, that mix out of clarity, but also cutting through this entire arrangement with many different notes. It's a lot of tonal information, and with those amps, first of all, I'm very happy. I like it, and second, when we started to produce our first album, the second album, the third album, I always had reference albums. I mean, you all know bands, like you have a Megadeth shirt, Tulkandra, Obscura shirts. When I was growing up in like the mid-early 90s and listened to metal, I loved the productions from Sweden, like all the Gothenburg productions, like Dark Tranquility, In Flames, you know most of them, I guess, big names. And when we started recording, I had those albums as reference. And I thought, okay, I would like to have this guitar sound. Of course, we had limited abilities, small budgets, small studios, but this have been the references. Years later, when we recorded A Valediction at Studio Fredman, it was the first time we went outside of Germany to produce an album. We sent to Studio Fredman ENGL Savage 120. So, and this amp is based on a 120. And we just sent it. We've been flying over, and we opened the package, and Fredrik Nordström just said, "Oh, that's cool. I'm using this amp since the 90s." So all the albums I love and I grew up with, not all of them, but most of them, have exactly this amp as foundation. So even without somebody told us, somehow the inner gut feeling told us this is the right sound. And I really like this story a lot. Thank you, Ben. A big applause to Ben, please.
ちょっと短になるんですけど、エングルは、エングルのファクトリーは、ステファンさんの、隣の場所にあります。そしたら、多分、子供の時じゃないですけど、ちょっともっと、若いの時、ちっちゃいのアンプが、もらった、今もこのアンプが使う、いつもエングルの機材が、信じられる、It's not breaking, always good 他の、物語がありますと、いつもステファンさんは、曲を作るときには、スウェーデンからの、プロデュクションが、聞きます。いつもこの音がいい、同じ音が欲しい。そしたら、できたら時、スウェーデンで、同じ糸と一緒、ミュージックを、リコーディングした時、このエングル、持ってきた、スウェーデンの人は同じが使う。そしたら、ステファンさんは全部、好きな、音楽は、同じ機材が、使う。じゃあめちゃ、いい、機材、みんなが使うの機材、信じられるの機材です。はい。
This amp is a limited edition. We built it together with the ENGL team, and it differs a little bit from the regular Savage 120. It has a KT88 tubes built in. That's a small difference, but if you're familiar with the original amp and this one, you make an A/B test, I think you hear the difference. It's a little bit more boost in the low mids. Basically, this is an amp made for this kind of death metal or really extreme progressive music. If you get a chance, I mean, over here, you see two of them. I'm not taking them with me, so if you get the chance, try them. If you just want to bring your guitar or take a guitar from the shop, give it a shot. Again, every guitarist is different. Over there, you see many other selections of the ENGL family. And I tried a small Fireball. It's really nice. It looks like a amp for my daughter because it's half the size, but it's really loud. I tried a fireball at the Tulkandra session recently, and it works even in a full band rehearsal. It's really interesting what those amps can. And these days you also have the IR responder, so you can add your own sounds and try around a little bit. I'm not that familiar with the technique. I'm maybe a little bit too old school for that. I like the pure sound of the amp as it is. A couple of years ago, we also tried around with the guitar cabinets. This is a new field. We work with Celestion UK, and maybe some of you tried certain cabs already, and I figured what big of a difference a cab can make. So I would also recommend you to just make A/B tests and find your own sound if it's possible.
このアンプは120のオリジナルはちょっと別です。Can you remind me like the difference of the
The difference is the KT88 tube.
このアンプはKT88 チューブスが使う。はい。いつもこの機材は多分元デスメタルのためにが完璧です。はい。
ちょっとだけよろしいですか。そうですね。先ほどおっしゃったように真空管アンプなんですけども、パワーチューブ出力管に KT88 というハイパワーチューブを使っているアンプになりまして、で今日のセッティングなんですけども、このヘッドの下にあるキャビネットですね、 4x12 の12インチ4発のキャビネットで鳴らしている状況になります。で、多分後でセッティングの説明もあるかと思うんですけれども、ステファンさんはこれ全部で4チャンネルの仕様なんですけども、チャンネル2のここの今リードボリュームのゲインがですね、ハイとモードで音を作っていらっしゃいます。だから通常のサウェージ120よりも少しゲインが高いセッティングになっているのかなというふうに思います。どうぞ。
When we started playing with the band, we had only two sounds, high gain and lead. So that was enough. But after all the years, we started first playing with 7 strings instead of 6 strings, and to get the 7th string audible, we had to work a little bit with EQ settings, and to get in balance our arrangements and keep a little bit more room for storytelling, we added more dynamics. That means crunch sounds, clean sounds, later also acoustic guitars, just to light it up with all the songs and the arrangements. And therefore, 2 channels were not enough. I had for many years, I think almost 15 years, I had an ENGL preamp, a rack system. It was the 530 2-channel, and that was totally enough. But during the last 5-6 years, we needed 4 channels for some extra crunch and all the lead sounds. And in the studio, this is just versatile. Working with a coryphée like Fredrik Nordström in a studio, you learn so much what you can work with amps, and even 4 channels. There are multi-effect boards out there with 1 million channels, and not 1 million channels, 1 million effects and everything. But if you really reduce it down, you don't need much gear. You need a good amp, a good guitar, and ideas in your fingers. That's everything.
前はオブスクラはサウンドは2つだけが使うんですけど、そろそろ元チャンネルが欲しい。そしたらこのエングルが4
チャンネルですね、
はい、
独立2チャンネルで全部で4チャンネル、
そうちょっと多分後野さんは元が知ってるのことね。
アンプのことは大体わかるんですけども、ステファンさんの説明はちょっと私は分からないんですいません。
はい、そうです。You have to tell me again a little bit. I lost track.
No problem.
Okay. What is the last part?
We went from 2 channels to 4 channels to have clean and crunch sounds added.
さあ、2チャンネルと4チャンネルの理由は、クランチと、クリーンが欲しい。はい。
Do you have any questions regarding the amplifier or the gear or anything?
なんか質問がアンプのことでございましたら
お
何かございますか？
Okay.
でですか？
No questions? Then do you want to hear another song? One more?
演奏を聞きたい
I
ですね。
can't hear you. Okay. Okay. This is another song from our new album, Asonication. It's called In Solitude. It's a very short song, but it blends a nice mix out of the very low frequencies of the guitar, but also the vocals, and a nice fragile idea of adding leads. It's basically built on a theme that repeats every now and then, but again, sometimes less is more, so I play more and talk less for you. Thank you very much. So, Any one of you coming to the show tomorrow in Tokyo? Yeah? All of you? Lovely. Then you see the whole songs with an entire band. Performing the songs in front of you is nice, but I'm not a solo musician. I prefer to play with the entire band. And I think if you play lead guitar, if you play bass guitar, rhythm guitar, if you just want to see a good show, I would recommend to come by.
はい、ステファンさんは、ソロアーティストではないんだから、一番いい時間は、みんなと一緒、ステージで、ミュージックがいける。したら、みんな、よかったら、来てください。
I have a couple of stories since we played many times over here in Japan. The very first time we've been a support band, we opened up for Triptychon and Nile. Have any one of you been there? No?
初めて、日本、初めて、来たときに、スポートバンドだけ、ナイルとトリプティコンのツアー、誰が、あの時来ましたか？ない。
We played a second time a few years later with that was our first headlining tour in Japan to support the album Omnivium back then. That was with Beneath the Massacre and our friends from Default, a Japanese band. Many years later, we came across again for supporting Acroasis. We brought Archspire, Exocrine, Xaon. And before the pandemic, we had a wonderful tour with our friends in Ginger and Mason from Australia. And right now we are here again. And we brought our friends from the United States, Fallujah. We brought our friends from Dark, a French band. And there's one thing that never changed over all the years. Even when we played here as very first band, that was a long time ago. I'm getting old, you see the gray hair, until today. When you come over here to Japan, people are absolutely respectful towards musicians. We have been welcomed here with open arms, a big smile, and the biggest respect you can. You see that? You see that? If I just think about it, I get goosebumps. I'm not kidding. Every time we come over here, it's incredible how you get treated as a musician, as a person. And if I could, I would just play only Japanese tours. So it's incredible also for a death metal band being hosted here in one of the biggest music shops at Ikibe Music. So thank you for having us and also supporting this kind of extreme music. This is really something special. Thank you.
はい、ファーストトゥーの後、いろいろなバンド、一緒で、ジャパンで、トゥーしましたですけど、一番、覚えてるのことは、いつも、デスメタルだけではないですけど、日本で、特別なミュージックとスペシャルなミュージックといつも、サポートがあります。できれば、ステファンさんは、日本でだけトゥーがしたいです。
We are almost at the end of this lovely small clinic. Do you have any questions? Is there anything you would like to ask for the gear, the band, or me as a player?
何でも結構ですので、質問があれば、バンドのことでもプレイのことでもどうぞ。
Yes. If I would like to describe it, it's timeless.
今の
But we are not
ベン
timeless
さん
yet.
簡単に訳していただいてもよろしいでしょうか。先ほどの質問の内容を。
日本語で、
そうですね。簡単に訳してもらっていいですか。
多分、もう一回日本語で。
ちょっと一応、配信もやってますので、もし差し支えなければ。
ストリームのためお願いします。
一言で、今こう自分のその音楽を表現したら何になりますかといった質問だったんですね。でそれでタイムレスといった顔でした。
So, if you could describe your music, how would you describe your music?
if I could reach one level, it would be timeless.
うん
But I think even after 24, 25 years, we are still working on that. Beautiful is the wrong word for death metal. One word. Interesting.
多分推しな言葉が使うはタイムレスですけど多分まだできない美しいはデスメタルが別ねでもそしたら今使うの言葉は面白い
If I can ask you a question, if you want to do me a favor, if you want to visit the show tomorrow or the day after, please see all the bands, because we also started as the first band out of many, and I think every band that is going to a stage is worth to be seen. And it's not only for this show, it's in general. If you get the chance going to a concert, it's a matter of respect. Just try to see all the bands, support them, and if you can go home with a big smile after a concert, I think every artist on this planet is happy and fulfilled.
ライブ、見に行く、できればよかったら、オブスクラだけを見に行ってではない、全部のバンドを、見に行ってください。本当に、それは大事です。オブスクラは、多分、ちょっと、昔ですけど、この、スモールバンドも、いるんです。だから本当に大事です。大事なことです。
明日は4バンドぐらい出るんですよね。
そうです
ね。
はい
ね、全部のバンドを楽しんでくださいということですよね。はい。
そうです。
Okay, I think we're coming to the end of this lovely live stream and this clinic. Thank all of you making this my first clinic overseas in Japan and Tokyo overall. I hope to see all of you tomorrow or the day after, or maybe at both shows. And also thank you supporting Tulkandra. I just want to say thank you. It's an honor being here, and thank you to Ikibe and having us presenting ESP, ENGL, EMG, Ernie Ball, and all the other lovely brands over here. Thank you very much, and have a lovely, nice evening. Thank you.
ちょっと私からこの今日の主役でもありますENGLアンプのちょっと宣伝をさせていただいてよろしいでしょうか。実はこのサベージ120、E6102、オブスキュラリミテッドという、ニューモデルって言っていいんでしょうかね。国内初入荷となりまして本日から発売となります。で、池部ウェブサイトでも、今日からですね発売を開始しておりまして、実はまだこの2台しか入荷してきてないんですよね。で当然この会場でも購入いただけますし、ウェブサイトからもご注文いただけますので、ぜひ、チェックしていただければと思います。もし後で興味ある方いらっしゃいましたら、ちょっと思想もできますので、ぜひチェックしていただければと思います。はい、ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
どうぞ。日本語でどうぞ。はい。
シュレッディングしてる間、リフを弾いてる間、あなたが、他のプレイヤーに、求めるようなことを期待することとは何ですか？ While you are shredding or playing a riff, what do you expect from the other player, the guitarist, the bassist, the drummer? For example, precision or creative movement, something like that.
Both. We are one team, and it's always nice to have a counterpart. When it comes to a melody, it's nice if another person adds like a harmony. If sometimes the drummer has a different idea for a completely different rhythm, it changes the song completely. And the same goes for the bassist. I think the bass is quite underrated. What it gives for the entire harmony section of a band, and especially in our music, we have fretless bass, which is very difficult to mix, but also harmonically sometimes the higher notes overlap with the range of the guitar. So this is very difficult, but it can add a lot. There's a song, that's my personal perspective, called Acroasis from the same named album, where we play around with that. Like there are certain melodies, the rhythm guitar, then the lead guitar, and later even the bass takes over. It's like one theme, and this is something I really admire, and I think that turned out to be a very good song. And this is what I love to do. It's not a solo show; it's a team.
Thank you. Across this, it's amazing song. Maybe we think it's same thing.
We will see you tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Yeah,
And the day after
of course.
tomorrow. Yeah.
じゃあ日本語でできる限りちょっと訳してみますかね。
よろしいですか。
私が聞いた内容として
ありがとうござい
は、
ます。
他のプレイヤーに求める、ものは何ですかっていう質問で、例えば正確性とか、あとは、クリエイティブなそういった動き、それ何ですかって聞いてみたら、全部必要ですと。理由としてはオブスキュラの曲っていうのはいろんなドラマがあって、例えばベースではフレットレスベースを使っていて、ミクシングがすごい難しいですけども、その辺をうまくやってでいろんな、ドラマを持たせるという話ですね。で例えばアクロシスというアルバムで入っているタイトルトラックの、アクロシスが、その代表的な曲で、いろんなドラマがあっていろんなパートが、一つの曲を織り直しているというそういったお話がありました。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。本当に。
他どうですか。はい、どうぞ。
日本語で失礼します。
どうぞ。はい。
僕はオブスキュラのオリジナルの曲も大好きなんですけれども、オブスキュラが、カバーする例えばディスとかシニックとかの曲も大好きで、今後そういうなんかステファンさんとかが大好きなバンドの曲をカバーするっていう予定はあったりしますか。
ちょっと質問ラストはもう一回言ってください。
です
カバーしたい曲はあるかということですね。他に。
そうですね。はい。
So, do you like to cover a song?
When I was a kid, yes, but nowadays I prefer my own music.
今からカバーがしないですけど、子供の時カバーがたくさんやりました。
オブスキュラのバンドでカバーする予定はあるかどうかということですね。今どうですか。オブスキュラのバンドで他のバンドの曲をカバーする予定、もしくはなんかしたい曲はあるのかという質問。
他のバンドが、オブスキュラの曲がカバーはどうですか、のこと。ちょっ
と天の声が訳しましょうか。He said he loves Obscura original songs, of course, but he is also interested in covering the other band's song with Obscura. So, is there any ideas of cover songs from now or later in the future?
We do not have any plans. Maybe something completely out of the box. Maybe Bee Gees, Dream Theater, Rolling Stones, but no other plans. But if you would like to play a cover, you're very welcome.
はい、もしその新曲のアイディアとかがなくなった時にもしかしたらドリームシアターとかローリングストーンズとかそういう、有名なバンドのカバーをやるかもしれないんですけれども、はい、ただやっぱりもっと我々はそういうアイディアをクリエイティブなアイディアをこれからバンドで、出していくっていうようなことを言っていると思います。
はい、ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. what?
Yes. For your songwriting, you mentioned Death, Chuck Schuldiner. How except like metal bands, did you get were you influenced by like bands or musicians who were not like like rock or metal, like for example classical music or jazz?
You want to translate in Japanese?
なおさん、質問。
はい。
多分私日本語で
はい、お願いします。
お願いします。
はい。私の質問はソングライティングのために先ほどおっしゃった通りチャック・シュルディナーのデスは大きな影響ということでメタル以外の影響はありますかと聞きました。はい。
It changed over the many years. I mean, I listened to different music 30 years ago, then I listened to 5 years ago. But the last years, I'm more and more interested in the depth of field within productions. So I listen to a lot of pop productions. For example, Mayhem by Lady Gaga or the Black Album by Metallica. It's about the details, how to underline certain vocals. The entire vocal production is brilliant. And all the small layers in the back. Again, it's not only the stereo panorama, it's especially the depth in field I'm very interested in. And this makes a big difference. If you know a band like Architects, for example, it's a British band from the UK. They sound like a regular metalcore at first sight, but if you listen to it, if you analyze the production, then you hear, there are many layers in the back. There are some tonal transposings. There are a couple of whispering effects. There are a lot of producer-influenced additions. And this is something I'm very interested. Not only other death metal bands or like Chuck Schuldiner is where I come from, yes. But at the moment, the last 5, 6, maybe 7 years, it's more the production. And I would like to get this more into Obscura.
Thank you.
大丈夫です。以上で。はい、ありがとうございます。はい。はい、ではどのようにこの後、進めましょうか。もう終わりですか？
はい、終わりです。
プレイもう演奏はないですね。プレイ？はい。はい。じゃあ本編ここまでということで、もうお時間が来ておりますので申し訳ございません。ありがとうございました。はい。じゃあ一応配信も終わりますので、一緒にカメラに向かってですね、さよならをしましょう。フィニッシュ。Okay.
Thank you very much for coming and making this special. Thank you for all the questions and participating. I have one little request. If we finish here and right now, could we make one photo with the team of Ikebe and you, the production team and all of you with the guitar? Yeah? One photo together afterwards. Thank you very much for the stream. Goodbye to everybody.
じゃあ配信の皆様ありがとうございました。
拍手お願いします。
ありがとうございます。